Lately, I've been getting beat up by black belts. But in today's video, I went up against a different one who's quite scrambly just like me. The real question is, do I have what it takes to no longer be a punching bag on my own YouTube channel? Let's find out.
As we pounce into this role, you can see I'm already committing a cardinal sin. I'm the only dude wearing a blue gi in an all-white facility. But right now I need to focus on him trying to pass my guard. As he steps through to the other side, I need to quickly adjust my hips the entire time as he tries to put his head underneath my legs. The important aspect for this guard retention is to keep my left leg high. If you have it too low, he's just going to sprawl out and stuff it, so I need to keep his foot high in his crotch, and although they don't like it, pretend you're going to kick him in the balls. Not being a fan of having my foot there, he's moving me around, switching from pressure passing to outside passing, but I'm able to scoop onto his leg and I start to invert. In no gi, this would be a nice saddle entry, but to keep it legal for the gi, I switch to the opposite leg, potentially looking for an ankle lock or a knee bar. But from this position, he's pushing my elbow away. This makes it tough for me to maintain the grip, but I can at least use it to sweep and come on top. When it comes to rolling in the gi, I don't have any special passes that have been working, so I'm using pressure from my knee just to keep him pinned down as he looks for that reverse de la Hiva to go right to Kiss of the Dragon. However, I'm able to scoop up his shin, and this allows me to drive back into the mat and keep him pinned there, compared to what we saw in the last video. Then I remember, I like to just be on bottom when it comes to gi so he can look for footlocks, and he comes on top. And this decision almost cost me, because as I rotate into him, he hops to the other side, but luckily I have a sneaky hook, I extend him, and I'm able to bring my shin back on the inside to retain guard. Keeping up with the tradition of only attacking feet, I rotate him to the other side so I can work towards single leg X. The one big downside about gi is that reaping isn't allowed, so I switch into reverse single leg X, which is a great spot for ankle locks, but if you're actually trying to break down their posture, I much prefer to go over their leg and start reaping. He's jumping around like he just saw Skibbity coming out of his toilet, and I don't blame him. It's a valid ankle lock defense to just constantly kick away, and it pays dividends as he's able to step out and start passing into side control again, while freeing his leg at the same time. Now unlike me, he didn't ignore the fundamentals of gi grappling, and he gets some nice grips that moves out to the outside, forcing me to go to turtle. But I catch him sleeping because as he goes to the far side, I just lift my weight a little bit and now I'm on top. His efforts weren't in vain, however, because he has really great grips over both of my arms, and now we're in the boring part of Jiu Jitsu. Well, boring for me at least, because he's having all the fun as he throws me into a triangle, and then as I start to posture up, he's going to switch it off into an omoplata. And while I know that omoplata can be a nasty submission, I generally have pretty strong defense here. I'm pushing my weight into him, but I'm also keeping my weight upright as much as I can. The second he can roll forward, I need to roll back so I don't let him get his weight over my shoulder. Now it's like grappling with your daughter where you can let them be a little spider monkey trying to look for submissions, but as long as I stay strong and remember I'm the dad, nothing's going to happen to me. I even employ a little bit of butt defense, which is putting my ass on top of him just to create some extra weight. Eventually he gets tired because this spot sucks to be in and he lets go, and he's forced to respect the dad bod technique. The next order of business for me is to get my hands free. He has me so locked up right now that he's actually trying to elevate me and flip me over to the side, so I make sure to have my left leg far off out of his reach. This also works as a strong post so I can start working my head to the inside on his chin and I can start pressure passing him. The goal is to keep your head in their chin so you can make them uncomfortable, try and get past their kneecaps so you can start to work them and pin them to the mat. Then you can bring your left leg to the inside and shimmy your leg free. Unfortunately, he brings his other knee back in, so I have to do that all over again. I'll admit this technique is a lot harder in the gi because of the grips versus in no gi when you can just smash. So the second he starts to bring his hip up, I'm looking for a different attack. I'm scooping underneath his leg as he goes over my shoulder, and I'm going to try and work to the opposite side. But guess what? His hips are fast, making it tough for me to go all the way around as he counters me. Not wanting to be a victim to this gi technique, I decide I'm just going to dive in on an ankle lock. He gave me an easy entry to get there, and all I have to do now is continuously extend on the ankle and shove as much of my chest into his foot as possible. I'm trying to kick his leg over so I can start to go belly down on his ankle, and honestly, I have a ton of pressure at this moment. I'm surprised I couldn't get the job done and I have to let go of the ankle lock, and just when he thinks he can finally have a good position and start working my back, we run out of time. Now since I already broke the rules by using a blue gi, may as well break some more and take my gi off. This time around I'm going up against a purple belt instead of a black belt, and he was happy enough to do it in no gi. And that's going to be his downfall, because I was trying to do that pressure passing in the gi where he controlled my sleeves, and now he can't do that to defend against it. This is a prime opportunity to see what I'm talking about. Once I can get to that tight waist with my right arm, all I need to do is keep my head under his chin and force him down with my weight. Truth be told, I'll sit here for minutes at a time to wear them down and grind them out, but I know that's boring. So watch what I do with my right foot. I quickly go over his knee, and because of this tight waist, I can scoot into side control, and I already have heavy pressure on top of him, preventing him from turning into me. He tries to bring his top leg in to assist since I'm blocking the bottom one, so I go over the top and I use this as an entry to go into mount. Immediately I go chest to chest and I pin him down to the ground. I want him to think this is Andre Galvo's better looking brother on top of him with all the pressure. This is the best spot to let somebody cook. I'm suffocating with my rash guard and I know he's going to make a mistake, and why not give it an easy out? With my arm over the neck, I know he's going to turn into me, and the second he does that, I lock up a guillotine and get the submission. As we give this one a second go, he's scooping for deep underhooks, which is exactly when you should be using that low pressure passing style. There's no way he's going to be able to elevate me because I have my hips so far back, and because my head is directly in his chin, he can't get underneath me to make my hips come closer to him. You could go for the body lock, which is a much better answer, but I love using my left hand to constantly shove the leg down and to keep the right arm on the back of him or searching for an underhook. Now you do run the risk of getting straight arm locked or omoplata, so it's important to lock down that right hip one way or another. Now what you can't see is I have a near side underhook, so I can switch my head to the opposite sides and start pushing his kneecap down. This frees my leg enough to kick it out. It's back to cooking my meal as I have heavy cross-face pressure and I've even captured the other shoulder. If you can catch their opposite shoulder, you may as well keep this as long as possible. You can even choke them out from here, similar to a head and arm choke, but I don't quite have that pressure. It takes quite a bit of strength, so instead I'm cooking him, letting him get his head to the right position, and I'm going to show him that same submission I just introduced to him a few moments earlier, which is another guillotine. But this time I'm going to go all the way over into mount, get that massive pressure, and get the tap.
Now, if you want to get some great looking gear and you can perform like I do, then make sure to go to xmartial.com. With promotion code Tyler10, you can get some great looking rash guards, gis, shorts, or other gear that you think will look great on you, and it may even improve your jiu-jitsu at the same time.